Welcome to a Healthy Push podcast. I'm Shannon Jackson, former anxiety sufferer turned adventure mom and anxiety recovery coach. I struggled with anxiety, panic disorder, and agoraphobia for 15 years. And now I help people to push past the stuff that I used to struggle with. Each week, I'll be sharing real and honest conversations along with actionable and practical steps that you can take to help you push past your anxious thoughts, the symptoms, panic, and fears. Welcome. You're right where you're meant to be. Okay, 2024 has been quite a year. It has undoubtedly been the most challenging year of my life. And if you're like, what, why? I recommend going back and listening to the episode prior to this one, where I share how I've been going through a separation and a divorce. This year, everything has felt so heavy, especially in my personal life, which has bled into my business. And this was really hard for me because ever since I started A Healthy Push back in, 2018, I have been all in my business, like excited to create, to share, to teach, and to just coach. But with everything going on in my personal life this year, I have found it pretty dang challenging to show up in my business how I always have and how I always want to. And I just have to say this because honestly, I need to hear it. I am incredibly proud of myself for showing up in my business and in my community as much as I have this year. I have kept everything going, from the podcast to social media to creating a new mini course and literally updating all my existing ones, to teaching classes and running my Panic to Peace program, to supporting my students on a one-on-one basis, to creating my weekly newsletters, although they haven't been so weekly lately, to working on a really new and exciting project that I'll be launching in 2025, and more on that in a few. Looking back, I can't believe how much I've shown up as much as I have in 2024, despite going through some of the hardest things I've ever faced. And I didn't just push myself to keep going in my business. I also pushed myself to keep growing and stepping outside of my comfort zone in my personal life. I went on multiple solo trips, a few solo hikes, a solo trip with my daughter, Amelia. I put myself out there and I made a couple of new friends. I've kept up with my workouts and have gone to the gym more. I asked for help and support more than I ever have, which if you've been listening to this podcast for any amount of time, you know is hard for me. And I just pushed myself to slow things down and do lots more resting, relaxing, and reading. Like I think I actually read more books this year than I've read in my entire life. And I spent way less time on my phone, which was such a huge win for me. And could I have pulled back some in my business and in my personal life, especially with everything that I've had going on? Like, should I have pulled back some, and would it have been healthier for me to do so? Yeah, probably. But I also know that continuing to push myself in healthy ways while I'm going through hard stuff is a huge part of what has always helped me to get through the hard stuff. You know, I have to say, I was really good about pushing myself while practicing lots of self-compassion. And I think this is a big key. I was really good about letting myself struggle and letting things look how they looked while I was in it, while consistently being gentle and kind to myself. Now, did I have moments where I wasn't so gentle and kind? Of course, I'm human. But for the most part, I really let myself be human throughout all of the hard and messy stuff, and I really supported myself through it. So, am I happy that 2024 is coming to an end? Yeah, I am. But I also recognize that life is full of ups and downs, and the years really don't matter in the grand scheme of things. Like, I'm not walking into 2025 thinking everything is going to be different just because it's a new year. And I'm definitely not thinking all the hard stuff is now behind me. You know I'm going to continue to face challenges and hard things, but I really know this and feel this inside of me. Like, I always have me, and that's all I really need. And I'll continue to support myself in healthy ways, and I'll continue to push myself. So let's talk about 2025. What can you expect from me next year? Well, you can expect me to show up here on my podcast. I will be continuing to put out an episode every Monday. And you know what's pretty amazing? I've never missed an episode of the podcast since I launched it in 2022. That is pretty incredible. Like, I have released 163 episodes since the beginning. That is just so crazy. But truly, I love this podcast, and I love how much I'm able to connect with you here. Like, I am able to share lots more here that I can't share on social media, and I can offer a ton more support. So yeah, the podcast will continue in 2025. Also in 2025, I'll be continuing to run Panic to Peace. I will teach it in January and again in September. And per usual, you can either take the program live with me over the course of 10 weeks, or you can take it on your own in a self-paced version. This is going to be the third year that I've taught this program, and it's literally my favorite thing that I do each year. Like, I have taught 7 rounds of the program, and I've helped hundreds of students. And if you're a listener of the podcast, I'm sure you've heard some of my student stories here. To be able to help people who were struggling just like I was with anxious thoughts and panic attacks, symptoms and fears, get to this place of peace, joy, and freedom, this place that they never even thought was possible, is the best freaking gift in the world. And it's exactly why I created A Healthy Push. So Panic to Peace isn't going anywhere. I will be teaching again in January, literally less than a month from now. So if you're interested in joining the next round, make sure you're on my waiting list. I'll put a link in the show notes for you. Okay, also in 2025, I'll be continuing to send my weekly newsletters, and I'm really hoping to get back to my weekly schedule. This is another way I absolutely love connecting with you and supporting you, and it's something I've done since the very beginning of A Healthy Push. It's where I can give you really actionable tips, tools, and insights that help you to keep going and to keep on this healing journey. And it's also where I can keep you in the loop on what I'm working on and any new things that I'm offering, including special discounts and bonuses. And it's also where I let you into what's going on in my personal life more, and just a place where I can be more me. So if you're not on my email list already, get on my email list, because in 2025, I am going to continue pulling back on social media. And this is honestly a hard one for me to say out loud. Social media is a big part of my business, and it always has been. And honestly, I am so grateful for it. I have built such an amazing community on Instagram, and there are many aspects of social media that I love. But if I've realized anything in 2024, it's that social media is absolutely not the healthiest place for me, especially while I'm going through hard things. And if you follow me on social media, you've probably already seen me pulling back quite a bit. I have been really only posting 2 to 3 times a week, if that, and it's been really helpful for me and my mental health. I think we all recognize that social media isn't the healthiest place, and it's true for creators like me as well. So being on my email list will help you to stay connected with me and keep learning from me and to continue to get really helpful support from me. So I'll make sure there's a link in the show notes so that you can jump on my email list if you're not already on that. Okay, so what's new in 2025? Well, I am super excited to finally tell you about this because I've actually been working on this for a long time. In 2025, I'll be launching a community membership. And you might be like, Shannon, what the heck does that mean? Well, it's going to be a private community that is completely off of social media, hosted by me. So you'll simply pay a monthly fee or a quarterly fee or a yearly fee, whatever you choose, depending on the support you're looking for. And you're going to get lots of support from me and also from others who are on a similar journey as you. So people who are also struggling with anxiety, panic disorder, or agoraphobia. People who you think aren't out there and don't exist. They absolutely exist. So I finally feel like I'm ready to do this because I've run successful communities within my Panic to Peace program for, over a year and a half now. And I've gotten so much incredible feedback from my Panic to Peace students about how helpful the community aspect is within Panic to Peace. So actually, over the past month or so, I've been working with a group of my past Panic to Peace students to create this community membership. And I feel like what we've already been able to create is beyond amazing. So let me give you a little sneak peek as to what's going to be offered in the community. So there will be monthly teachings by me, including topics chosen by members of the community. There will be Q&As and group support, so a space where you can ask questions and get my support as well as the community support. There will be exposure workshops where you can get direction and support in creating healthy steps and get some guidance while you're taking the steps. There will also be accountability check-ins where you can share your actions and your progress and get some feedback, especially if you're feeling like I'm stuck or I'm scared. What do I do? There will also be challenges to help encourage you and to help push you in taking the healthy steps. There will be private spaces where you can share and work through specific fears. So specific spaces that you can join. For example, if you struggle with driving anxiety, you can join a group who struggles with driving anxiety or panic attacks or toilet anxiety, whatever it is. I will have different spaces for very specific fears so that you can get support from people who are struggling with very similar things, and also my support. You'll also have the ability to connect and chat with everyone within the community, and there will also be a directory so you can connect with people who might be in close proximity to you. And you'll also have access to me to ask questions and to get ongoing support. So in general, each week of every month, we'll be meeting live and there will be a focus. There will either be a teaching or a Q&A and group support, or an exposure workshop and an accountability check-in, or just a general check-in and group discussion. I think having a structure is going to be super important in helping people to keep moving forward and making progress in their recovery journeys. I really see this membership being about community, support, motivation, and accountability. And as always, with anything I create, I want to make your journey with anxiety less long and less hard. And I really believe this community membership is really going to help do that. But, and this is a big but, as of right now, I will only be offering this private community to people who have taken my Panic to Peace program, either the live version or the self-paced version, or to people who have worked with me regularly on a one-on-one basis. And I know this might come as a bummer to some, but the reason why I'm only offering this to past Panic to Peace students, or a big reason why I'm only offering this to past Panic to Peace students, is because I want everyone in the community to be at a similar level. Meaning people who already have a lot of the education, knowledge, and tools, but they really need help with motivation, accountability, and application. Like they really need more guidance and more support. So it's really geared toward people who are further along in their recovery journey, but they just really need continued support to take the steps. And like I said, I know this might be a big bummer, but I really feel like only offering it to my Panic to Peace students right now makes the most sense. So I'm shooting for this new community membership to launch in March or April of 2025, right after the next round of Panic to Peace finishes. And I am really freaking excited about it. I am excited to continue to support my students on their journey and help them to recover without it being so hard. So if you're interested in learning more about my community membership, or if you're like, cool, Shannon, I'm ready to join right now, make sure you're on my email list so that I can let you know more info and let you know when you'll be able to enroll. So in 2025, the things I'm staying really focused on are my podcast, continuing to teach my mini courses, my Panic to Peace program, my weekly newsletter, and my new community membership. And I also have something else that I'm working on too, something that is really cool and I know you're going to love, but it's not something that I can quite share yet. So stay tuned. And this is the last time, I promise I'll say it. If you're not already on my email list, get on my email list. But I really hope that I get to work with you in 2025. I hope that I get to help and support you on your recovery journey and just connect with you on a deeper level. All right, 2025, I'm ready for you, I think. And I'm going to keep pushing myself professionally and personally. No matter what comes next year, I'm going to continue to be compassionate and gentle with myself and let myself be human. All right, cheers. I'll see you next week. And until next time, keep taking healthy action. I hope you enjoyed this episode of A Healthy Push. If you want more, head on over to ahealthypush.com for the show notes and lots more tips, tools, and inspiration that will support your recovery. And if you're hoping for me to cover a certain topic, be sure to join my Instagram community at A Healthy Push and let me know in the comments what you want to hear next.